Barrier Babs. I'm your host, Vale Chikuni. This is your Christian podcast. Eric, I see you. Thank you for joining us. Magmu, all the way from Pennsylvania. Is it Pennsylvania? What do they call? Like, is it a swing state? Are you from the swing state of PA? Yeah. Are you from the swing state? Eric, welcome. Thank you guys for stopping by. We're doing a live stream. All right. I hope you guys had a good day. Okay. Uh had to do some stuff, so I had to reschedule. Okay, today's Wednesday. We do have we're going through church history at my church, so I didn't even think about missing that for a live stream. So here we are. All right, guys, we're gonna get started. We don't want to take long today because we have a story out of Hollywood, straight from Hollywood. Okay, thank you, Magmu, for joining us. So yes, this thing is trending. Jada Pinkett Smith is trending. She's going out on a book tour. She just put out a book and it's called Worthy. I'm like, why do you who came up with that name? Okay, I'm disturbed how she came up with that name. So we're gonna go through the interview that she put out, and I'll be making commentary as we go along. I know my hubby just put out a nice banging video, so if you haven't watched that, be sure to watch it. Okay, but we are going to get started with this. But I wanted to, uh, I guess we'll be able to watch this, and I'll be stopping it as we go along. Thank you guys for joining us today. Here we go. Jada Pinkett Smith in her own words. Okay, let's go. All right. Well, if this thing can play, so we can get started. Oh, increase the volume. Wait a minute. Jada doesn't want us to hear what she has to say. Oh, why isn't it on play? Come on. Okay, here we go. All right. Then my internet decides to be slow, of all the things. Okay, we carry on. I hope I'll get it to go. But for some reason, it's not playing. I'm very disappointed. Come on. It just played. I played with it before I started. Look, now my internet is slow. All right, be that as it may, let's I guess I can do the article then. Let's see if the article is going to be helpful. All right, so we have this is the article that came out. Jada Pinkett Smith reveals she and Will Smith have been secretly separated for 7 years. So now it's no longer a secret, okay? They were married since 1997. Okay, so here we go. Jada Pinkett Smith is sharing an update on the state of her marriage to Will Smith, revealing in a new interviews that they've been separated since 2016. If you recall, Jada Pinkett, whenever they talk about the Hollywood powerful couple, Jada Pinkett and Will Smith are amongst them. So to get the idea that Jada is no, I mean, by all intents and purposes, they're not married. And this is I mean, you gotta give it to them if they kept this a secret for 7 years in Hollywood, okay? Because I don't think you can keep a secret in Hollywood. These people have managed to keep this secret. So you gotta hand it to them, okay? And right now she's gonna go on tour. Okay, she's gonna go on tour to share everything that took place. And there's no way I'm gonna go to that because she's coming in my neck of my woods over here to do this interview. But I don't there's no way I'll go. You have to buy the tickets. obviously you have to buy the tickets because it's not free, which is fine. It's a book. It costs money to do all that. So, but what I'm wondering is, where is Will Smith? Okay, in all this, where is Will Smith in all this? So, man, I'm trying to get this video to play because that would be actually a very good thing for us to be able to see her speaking in her own words. There's some short clips that are out on Twitter, but that's not going to be helpful. So hold on, let me get this to work so we can play the music, okay?
She has been separated from.
But you still
All
live
right.
separately.
We live separately.
Jada Pinkett Smith is revealing bombshell details about the state of her marriage to Will Smith. In new interviews, the Girls Trip star says that she has been separated from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air alum for 7 years.
In 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
Right.
but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
Yes.
y'all have been apart.
Yeah.
Well, fans are just learning the news now. Jada confirms to Today that she and Will have been apart since 2016 and explains the reason they kept things quiet.
I guess my question.
Okay. So all right, sorry guys. I thought I had an emergency. But we're here. Thank you. According to, did you see? She's actually smiling about this debacle of hers. Okay, she's actually, it's not showing over her smiling. So she said that they've been married since 1997. It was actually a big deal because I remember this. I was in high school, and Will Smith surprised her. She was eating popcorn. I don't know if you. I used to be a tabloid junkie. Okay, so I used to follow all these stories. They were in a car. She was eating popcorn. So while she was eating popcorn, the ring was in the popcorn. So that was like, oh wow, this was kind of like, you know. So to see that this is exactly what is going on after they were playing, like this is the so-called quote unquote the Hollywood powerful couple, and this tells you that in Hollywood, it's. I mean, are there successful marriages in Hollywood? Yes, they are. But for the most part, they are they call I, I don't like the word partnerships, but like once you say I do, you're married. Okay, God sees that as you guys are married. Whatever you decide to be doing in your marriage, if you're not in keeping to the covenant, you're gonna give an account of those things. So let's continue to what she's saying to me. I'm like, where's your husband? This is so embarrassing. Why should the whole world know about this issue? You just because you want to sell a book? Does Jada, does she need this money from the book to embarrass her husband, her family, her marriage? For what? Man.
Is I feel like you're a straight talker,
I am.
except you're not sometimes.
Yeah.
So why do that? Like, what was the reason?
I think just not being ready yet. Still trying to figure out between the two of us
Yeah.
how to be in partnership, right? And in regards to how do we present that to people, you know, and we hadn't figured that out.
Jada also shed some light on what led them to part ways.
Why did the relationship fracture?
Oh, why it fractured, that's a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think by the time we got to 2016, we were just exhausted with trying. I think we were both kind of still stuck in our fantasy of what we thought the other person should be.
And while Jada admits that she's considered divorce, she ultimately decided not to file the official legal paperwork.
I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce. We will work through whatever. And I just haven't been able to break that promise.
But you still live separately.
We live separately.
Okay. So according to Mrs. Will Smith here, she made a promise and she just hasn't been able to break that promise. Sister, you already broke that promise 7 years ago. And my question is, who did you make that promise to? Clear made that promise to her husband, right? They're never going to divorce. They're separated. They're not living together. They've kept this a secret for 7 years. And she thinks that she hasn't broken that promise? Help me out here. Why does she think that she hasn't broken that promise? For all intents and purposes, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, they are not married. We understand marriage, right? This is from Genesis 2. God didn't give Adam and Eve a certificate, okay? There was no certificate in the Garden of Eden, right? There was no need for a certificate, okay? Because marriage is a covenant. There's nothing wrong with the certificate. The certificate was introduced by Moses because these two people just didn't want to stay married, okay? They wanted to be like, I want to be free, okay? The two schools of thought, the Hira and the Shema. Okay, so you bend the toast, you're out. The husband didn't like the meal, they'll hand you the certificate of divorce. And that's it. That's all it took to divorce. That's all it took to divorce somebody. Okay, you just saw your marriage certificate and then you're gone. So Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith, they've been playing house, pretending to be married, but they are not married. To me, I don't see why. I don't understand why they haven't signed divorce because all their kids are adults. Will Smith is worth $350 million. They can split that. They just go their separate ways. If they're already separated. So I'm not getting the idea of still clinging like they're playing house. I don't get it. I don't get it. What do you guys think about this situation over here? It's kind of confusing even to me. But let's continue.
After mentioning that the two are working through their issues, Jada indicates that they are still navigating their relationship. The 52-year-old also tells People in a profile published on October 11th, quote, "We're still figuring it out. We've been doing some really heavy-duty work together. We just got deep love for each other, and we are going to figure out what that looks like for us." Jada and Will had already been separated.
They got deep love for each other. They're going to do some heavy lifting and they're going to figure it out. For 26 years. What is it? 1997? Help me out here. How long have they been married? 2023? Yeah, that's 26 years. So minus the 7 years that they haven't been together. So they've been married 19 years. Okay. So when are they going to be doing the heavy lifting? Jada, she's put out a book and she's going on book tour. She says, people have got questions to spill out the beans of their marriage. So how is that going to help fix their relationship with Will Smith? Of course, it's not going to help anything as far as their marriage is concerned. So I get it. Like, okay, this is in Hollywood. These are the things that happen in Hollywood, right? No, marriage is an institution. Marriage is God's idea. But whenever people decide to create their own thing when it comes to marriage, And this is what happens. They're gonna figure it out. They're gonna be doing some heavy lifting. I don't even know what they mean by them doing heavy lifting. Their covenant is already broken. You cannot be unified. Like marriage represents unity. You are just not costing when you get married to your partner by and by. That's not how it works. You are, as a wife, you are a helper to your husband. As a husband, you are going to be leading your family. You're just not going to sit back and voila till death do us part. The things that you're doing in marriage, according to this couple, I think they were trying to change each other, and for 26 years that hasn't happened. So why keep pretending that you're married if it hasn't worked for all those years? What makes you think it's going to work? And I think they're doing therapy. I mean, this whole thing is it's nothing but Hollywood. All Hollywood. Okay.
Separated for 6 years the night of the 2022 Oscars, where he won the Best Actor trophy for his lead role in King Richard, and slapped Chris Rock on stage after the comedian made a joke about Jada's shaved head. Jada tells People her reaction to the shocking moment, saying, quote, "I thought this is a skit. I was like, there's no way that Will hit him. It wasn't until Will started to walk back to his chair that I even realized it wasn't a skit."
And I don't buy that. The reason why I don't buy that, this is she was bothered by this particular joke. Okay, that's fine. Like, if she was, I'm not against her being bothered about the joke, but the reaction that she showed over there, it didn't, to me, it didn't look like somebody who thought that was a skit. She, she, it looked like she was embarrassed by it. She didn't like the joke. That's fine. She's entitled not to like the joke. She's not obligated to like the joke. So I'm like, no, the way you appeared over here, it did look, it just looks suspicious. And then making matters worse, even when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, they were already separated. So to me, I'm like, okay, so why did you do that for? Why did you do that for? Why did you do that for? Okay, what did you do that for? Okay.
His divorce from Cherie Zampino, with whom he shares 30-year-old son Trey Smith. The couple, who share kids Jaden Smith and Willow Smith, have made headlines as they've gone through ups and downs in the relationship over the years, including what Jada called in 2020 her entanglement with August Alsina.
So even during the entanglement, these two were not together. But the whole time they've been playing house, lying to the public, like they're still together. In Hollywood, I guess it was a business strategic. I don't know. It's good when you're presenting yourself as a power couple, right? It's good. It portrays a very good image as far as Hollywood is concerned. Okay, so according to Jada Pinkett, they've kept this quiet to the public. They've kept this quiet to the public because they, they just wanted to appear to people that they got it together. To me, that's how uh, that's just how I see it, right? But when you're married, it's not about the people. It's it's about you and your husband. It's nothing to do with the people. According to them, that's why they were not, obviously they experienced these issues because they were playing whatever else they were playing in order for people to see, right? So this is what also she's put up, okay? And I'll share with you guys. I mean, like, it's so I'm just so glad that at least they're children, they are adults right now. It's not good, but at least they're a little bit older. Okay, so this is what Jada.
Very exciting news. I'm going on a book tour this fall for my new memoir, Worthy. This was a labor of love. I will be coming to New York. I will be going to D.C. I'll be going to Baltimore. I'll be going to Memphis, Houston, Atlanta, Los Angeles, London, Miami, Detroit, Dubai. I know you got lots of questions. So if you want to come check me out in one of those spots, tickets are on sale now. So go to ourworthyjourney.com and see what dates you and I can have a little hello. Wait a minute, hold up. I don't even know if that was taping. Hey guys, I have...
You see, she's laughing. She's excited. She has this book called Worthy. She's gonna go on tour worldwide. She's gonna go to Dubai, Baltimore, all these other places. And she knows that people have questions. And go buy your ticket and go check her out and ask these particular questions. They are degrading what marriage is all about. And this is so embarrassing for Jada. This is very embarrassing, even like for Will Smith. And it's unfortunate that a lot of people look to Hollywood to get their cues as far as what marriage is concerned. But these two people have yet again demonstrated beyond a reasonable doubt that no, do not take your cues from these people. They will actually just destroy your marriage. Just forget about them. Okay, forget about how these people handle their affairs. So I had put out. Oh, there was actually even another one. This was a tweet. Man, people, I share this with you guys. Look at her. She says, Jada Pinkett Smith shares, she and we have been separated for 2016, okay? And the comments that people are putting over here, Will Smith is worth $350 million. To divorce, she would get half. It's worth it. And so many people just, Chris Rock did get slapped for nothing. Will Smith landing for the first I mean, I don't blame people, whatever, it's Twitter, they're gonna, say all those things. But I thought this was a very good caption. Somebody they put out this, so here we go. Okay.
There are so many surprising things in the book, but the thing that surprised me the most, that I actually had to reread it because I said, is this true?
Right.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
right,
but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
yes,
y'all have been apart.
Yeah.
There are so many surprising things in the book, but the thing that...
Okay. So we're just gonna go to scripture. Okay. Matthew 19:6. And this is Jesus affirming what marriage is all about. Okay. And I read. So I can start from 5. And said, therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let no man separate. So Jada Pinkett and Will Smith are separated. She might have not signed that paper, but she's divorced. This is lack of understanding what people think like what marriage is, right? Remember, marriage is a covenant. You are making that covenant before God. And people who come to your wedding, they are witnesses to that particular covenant because you need a witness to cut a covenant, okay? Not only that, marriage is God's idea. So we don't bring in our own ideas to quote unquote make up whatever marriage. That's why, you're going to face, you're going to face troubles when you're operating in your marriage against that says the Lord, because God will not be mocked. What is the purpose of marriage? Why do people get married? What's the point of marriage? Because when you don't know the purpose of something, you are bound to misuse it. Okay, you're gonna make mistake. You're gonna do whatever else you want to do. What you're gonna turn something to something else. So we have over here Genesis 2 informs us. Okay, Genesis 2:18. Okay, selected scriptures for the purpose of this live stream. Then the Lord God said, "It is not good that a man should be alone. I will make him a helper fit for him." And this is God doing it. Okay, he make a helper fit for him. Remember, Adam was already chilling. Okay, and yes, Eve brought some trouble. Eve brought some trouble, but we're in Genesis 2 here. Okay, God made Eve fit for him, a woman fit to help. Okay, well, what is there to help? You're there. Your purpose is to be helping your husband. So when you're going this, you're separated. Like that's a problem. Okay, you're separated. What God has put together, let no man separate. This is serious. But we've drunk up the Kool-Aid and our selfishness. We don't adhere to these things. Okay. So I won't be preaching. I see Brother Alton is in the building. Is in the building. Okay, because Alton, I know you're gonna slice this thing. Okay, and you are a helper to your husband. Okay, that's the reason why God created instituted this marriage, commanded them to be what? Be fruitful and multiply. Adam was already Adam was already working. Adam was already taking care of the animals. He was doing whatever else he was doing. He was just alone. He didn't even know that because that's how God created. He was just, this is what I have and this is it. That's why when Eve came on the scene, Adam was like, wait a minute. Okay, finally something that looks like me. And he was happy about the situation. Okay, you cannot blame the brother. He was happy about the situation, but God told them what? To be what? Fruitful and multiply. Adam by himself, there's no way he could have been able. You cannot multiply by yourself. That's why even now we have understanding here who is promoting this so-called mirage. You cannot. They can never multiply. They can never be fruitful. It's impossible. If that was the case, then there was no need for Eve to come on the scene. Adam would have already done those things. So, what is another thing? Okay, so procreation. That's the purpose of marriage. Okay. And another question people come up, oh, what about people who cannot procreate? You might not be able to procreate, but guess what? You are a product of procreation. Why? You have a mom, you have a dad. So the promise still stands. Okay. Well, what else? Okay. Marriage is an illustration of the gospel. How and why? Jesus, the church is the bride and Jesus is the groom. And the first miracle that Jesus performed was what? At the wedding. And what's going to happen when everything else comes to end? The marriage supper of the Lamb, right? So that's why wedding is so important to who God is. No, we're not going to be getting married in heaven, right? This is a illustration what the gospel is. And not only that, it provides, it's for sanctification. Wait, wait, when you get married, you get sanctified real quick and real fast. Your selfishness. And then when you add children to the mix, oh, it's a whole another game. Okay. So these are the things that marriage is going to bring. That doesn't mean that you cannot be sanctified. That sanctification does not hinge on you getting married. Okay. We're getting sanctified doing other things, so many other things. But this is where you tend to uh, you're able to uh, bear one another with your husband, with your children, all those things that are happening during your marriage. Okay. And then next we do have the scriptures over here. Okay. Hebrews 13:4. Let marriage bed be held in honor among all, and let the marriage bed be undefiled. For God will judge the sexually immoral and adulterous. So, marriage is not only for believers, marriage is a gift to mankind. So, even if you're not a believer, you are defiling your marriage, you're still going to give an account. So, we already know that Jada Pinkett falls in this category with the entanglements that she found herself in. And my understanding, for as long as I've known them, they've had an open marriage. I don't know if that is still true, but there's nothing like open marriage. These are the things that Hollywood would define to change what marriage is. Okay, marriage is between two people. That's just what it is about. So if you are going to have an open marriage, you have defiled the marriage bed. You're going to give an account to those things. You're going to give an account to those things. So, oh, these are the things that as Christians we shouldn't take for granted. And this idea, like, okay, we know they've defined marriage, whatever. You can never redefine marriage because marriage is God's idea. What has happened? They're profaning marriage, and you will give an account to such things. Marriage unifies people, right? This is like two people coming together as a one fresh union. This is how do I say this? It's kind very difficult to explain it like in a nice way here, being on YouTube. Okay, it's the people of old, they would define this is it's it's that intimacy. Okay, like when you read John 1:1, right? Like um John 1:1, in the beginning was God, and in the beginning was God, like it was like face to face. So that is the picture. Okay, sex is not a dead thing. God is the one who designed sex. God is the one who created sex. So this is um how do I be? This is God's idea. So like you don't want to mess around with what God has put together. Okay, the one fresh union is very important because this is what God has designed. And are there reasons how people are going to separate? People are going to end up divorcing for one reason or the other. Okay, at the core, God hates divorce. People are going to divorce because we do live in a sinful world. We live after past Genesis 3. God is not pleased with divorce. That's why there are different schools of thought whenever it comes to divorce. And there is disagreement. People who are well learned, they disagree with these things. Okay? There's people who do believe like there is no divorce under any circumstances. Catholics do hold to this view. If you divorce, you can never remarry. If you marry, they're never going to bless your wedding because you're only married one time. And then there's a situation where I'll be like, okay, divorce is permissible. If your husband has committed adultery, you can divorce and you can marry. But just because your husband has cheated or your wife has cheated, that doesn't mean boom, you're running for divorce. Everything has to be done to bring people together so that people can reconcile. There's people who have ended up divorcing and coming back together, right? Like you divorce, you've committed adultery. Okay, there's people have abandoned their wives, so they've abandoned their husband. So there are reasons for people where they can divorce, but it's not something that has to be taken lightly. And if all is well, even she'll say, okay, go back and reconcile to your husband and to your wife. And there's a reason people just divorce frivolously. Okay, like a case example, you have how many she's on marriage number what, 6 or 7? Jennifer Lopez. So like it's just like, it's divorce after divorce after divorce after divorce. This is just normal. 2 3 times, just like, no, it should not be so. That's not how God has designed it. Okay, that's not how God has designed it. God hates divorce. So, and most of the times you look at it like, okay, if your husband, you're honoring your responsibilities as a husband, and your wife, you're honoring your responsibility as a wife, why would you divorce? Why would they be in need of divorce? So these are the things that we shouldn't abandon. God is able to sustain the marriage no matter whatever else is going through. So Jada Pinkett had shared that they're just living for people. They kept the thing secret for people, right? In Ephesians, it calls, like, wife, you submit to your husband. You're not called to submit to other people's husband. It's exclusive to your own husband. So if you're living for people's approval, by definition, you're submitting to all these other people because you want to get their approval, right? So you're gonna be all over the place. You are going to be all over the place. So that's exactly what these people has happened. She thinks she's kept a promise. She broke that promise 7 years ago. And this idea of just reducing marriage to a marriage certificate, that, oh, I just haven't signed the marriage certificate. Even if you haven't signed that marriage certificate, you have already abandoned your husband. So you guys are already divorced. The only thing that you're waiting is just the civil magistrate to come in and to divide your assets, so to speak, right? I mean, like, here, fine, it's in America, people get married, you need that certificate. But it's not like that around the world. Not everywhere you go, people have the marriage certificate. You have families that are coming together, people getting married, you have dead witnesses, they are having children, and people recognize, they see that these people are married. Okay, you get married before your pastor. That is, people are married. We understand for practical purposes, people do get that divorce and everything. I mean, the certificate, we do get it, but um you can't be married before God without that certificate. Without that certificate, the certificate came in because of Moses. Oh, that, and here we are. I get it. I'm not against people having a marriage certificate. You have to have a marriage certificate. We live in this world. So many things have changed. It brings it's good to have it, right? Because you have it. Because some states, like, if you've been divorced and you're getting married, they don't want to marry you until they see your divorce certificate. Okay, so they need to see that divorce certificate to prove that you've already been married. Because, I mean, it's surprising, and that is just like, no polygamy out, even in America, huh? But people are out there marrying. Oh, anyhow, be that as it may. Now, the other thing, most people, like, my parents divorced. Okay, and at that time, they didn't see the effects what divorce brings to children. But these are the things that later on, like, as you grow up, the devastation that divorce brings is always there. Can God, if somebody has been divorced, can they be restored? Yes. Can God forgive them? The answer is yes. But you have to remember, the consequence of sins, the consequence of sin is going to remain. God is going to forgive you for your sins, but the consequences will still take its course. For example, if you're living a promiscuous lifestyle, what happens? You end up like, okay, you're out there, drug dealing and everything. The consequence might be you get shot, you lose your arm, you lose something else. Your arm is not going to grow back. The Lord is going to forgive you, but you're going to experience that particular consequences, or you're going to get caught. God is going to forgive you, but you're going to end up saving the sentence, right, of the crime that you committed. So those are the consequences that you're going to experience because of the sinful things that we have done. So these are the things that the divorce does to children. And even this is one thing that my mom regrets, right? She says, like, one thing that I do regret was divorcing your dad. I wish I didn't do that. She had her own reasons, good reasons to divorce. But she looks back with the devastation that brought in our family. She realized that that was the biggest mistake that I ever did. You see what I'm saying? She regrets that. But, you know, everybody's all grown up. We are all adults and everything. But because that separated our family, it does have, it affected our family in ways that you nobody thought about. So now you see the manifestation of those fruits. Like, okay, I'll see in my family, I'm able to see, like, wow, this is because of this is because of this, and here we are, right? But praise God that this those are the things that you're going to experience in life. That's why even now, even in our society, the root cause goes to, okay, you're seeing these young people who are rooting towns and everything. You check, you be like, you know what? There's no father in the home. You only have mothers who are raising these children. They have to raise them just by themselves. The husband is absent, right? You have broken families, you're going to have broken societies. Those are the things that happened. That's why, just like, God is mocked, God hates divorce. And then when you look at the families, they might not have the finances, they might be poor, but because that family is intact, there's also a difference. Even you find like people who are rich, they have everything, but they are so busy, they are working, they are not there in their children's lives, also brings there's also issues there. That's why, like, when you get married, it's not you leaving that responsibility to a babysitter or somebody else. It's your responsibility to be raising your children, to be educating your children, to be involved in your children's lives. You leave that to somebody else, they will be consequences they're going to follow. So it's not just you getting married, you're kicking back. There's you have to be cultivating your marriage, right? You have to be cultivating your marriage. You have to be doing things to spice up your marriage, to spice up your marriage. Because if you don't, you're gonna grow apart. You're gonna then the next minute you're going to divorce. People just don't wake up and be like, oh, voila, I'm divorcing my husband. It doesn't happen like that. It's a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there. And even Jada shared that uh, it was just a fantasy because they were trying. She was waiting for Will Smith to change. Will Smith was waiting for Jada Pinkett to change to be something else. It was kind of like a fantasy. And that never happened. And hence here they are. They're going their separate ways. They missed the boat. They were searching happiness. This is also the myth that is being experienced, especially in Hollywood. Like, oh, it's all about your happiness. No. Marriage is not about your happiness. Wake up. Okay? Happiness is just a state that you're going to be in, and it's going to fluctuate. A week will go by that you're not happy. What are you going to do? Divorce your husband? Divorce your wife? Because you stayed the whole week without not being happy? Mm? So it's unfortunate that because you're chasing that feeling, right? You're chasing that happiness. Then you find yourself switching between partners every now and then because you're chasing something. No, there's the important things in your marriage than quote unquote your happiness. But this is the age that we live in. Right? It's all about I, about my happiness. So she spent all those years trying to change her husband in this way, in that way. We was also trying to change them, and they're out there working on Hollywood, looking good, the whole 9 years, but there was nothing at home. So don't we are not fooled by that type of behavior. Okay, so another thing that I wanted to share. Thank you guys for joining. I appreciate you guys for being here. We'll be closing soon. So you count the cost through your marriage. I had put that thing, you know. This, especially in Hollywood, right? It's all about everybody wants to pursue their career. You want to be an A-list actor. It's a lot. You are on a movie set, you're doing all those things. It's a lot. So you need to decide, like, which is the priority. Is it the you chasing the dream in Hollywood, you whatever in your career, which is it? You have to decide. So as a wife, it might require you like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna have to take a back seat. You have to take a back seat. You're there helping your husband, but you're doing all these things together. I think those are the things that are very, very difficult in Hollywood. A so-called this 50-50 partnership. You bring in 50, I bring in 50. Like, what is that? Okay, you are one flesh, so whatever you bring in, it's for all of us together. There isn't, I'm not looking in like, oh, it's not 50-50. Like, what is that? That's not what it is about. Like, it's a lifelong commitment. You can dissolve your partnership because your business partner is not bringing in their 50%. Guess what? You're going to divorce them. But if you're committed, you are in a lifelong commitment that in good times and in bad times, you are going to be together. It's a whole different level. It's a whole different ballgame altogether. But if you're looking 50-50 partnership and your partner is not putting in their weight, it's going to bring a disaster. It's going to bring in a disaster. So these are the things that have taken place as far as this guy's Hollywood is concerned. And we have to remember what happened, right? In Genesis 3, where you have what? The devil. What did the devil do? Huh? Just like, okay, these guys are one flesh. Just like, why did he come to both of them together? Huh? Why didn't he go to Adam? He didn't go to Adam. He went to Eve. And the scripture says Eve was deceived by the serpent. So this was the devil bringing in the discord via the woman, okay? Because the woman, via the weak link, okay? We are the weaker vessels. So she was deceived. And she brought that deceit to her husband. And then Adam should have been like, woman, what have you done? Adam willingly disobeyed. So, boom, here we are. So Adam willingly disobeyed. This was the devil coming in. So you can see over here, Jada, she's out here spilling the beans about their marriage. My arm resting. So where is Will Smith? And according to her, she said she made a promise. She hasn't come to sign the papers. Why is she in charge of signing the papers? Why is she the one who made the promise? Why is she the one on book tour? Why is she the one spilling out the beans about spilling the beans about their marriage? And she says that, oh, I thought that was a skid. So it's Jada, 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 all the way. I'm like, Will Smith, where are you? And why were you allowing for 7 years? If this woman was already quote unquote done with you, who are you hiding it from? I mean, like, let's be honest. If Will Smith today is out there like, hey, I'm a eligible bachelor, how many women will be willing to take Will Smith? So I don't understand. And then, their children are adults. But if you look at the stories of their children, to me, I'm like, this explains. Mom and dad were already gone long time ago. And they produced the fruit that we see in their children. It's very unfortunate. And Jada Pinkett, he is also the fakeness that she has portrayed. Remember, she has a program called what is that the show they have on Facebook? I don't watch it, but my understanding is that program is designed for people to come together, to sit on the table, and to talk about whatever issues that you're going through and to get solutions. So this woman is out here schooling all of us about to get solutions, and then she has all this giant thing in her own marriage. They fooled the Hollywood. They lied to people, pretending that they got it. Like, no, they were living a lie. They were living a lie. They were living a lie. So don't take your cues from Hollywood. Do not believe it. Okay? This is what we, go by this. So that's what the Hollywood, they're going to go to the therapist. You see, that, they're going to go to Oprah. They're getting all the ideas in all these places. People who cannot tell you the truth. It's all about keeping up the appearances. It's all about the image. It looks good as a powerful couple. That's what it's all about. So the red table, all that was just a scam, to be honest with you. I do remember that she was on a show, uh, some of these shows, and um, I think is it Michael Cohen, if I'm not mistaken, forgive me. Ask Jada Pinkett, how do you do it? How do you keep your marriage so successful? And she just laughed. She just laughed. Oh, she couldn't speak. She said, oh, I don't know, and everything, just laughing. And people were just clapping, like, wow, you guys are so successful. You have this so-called beautiful marriage. And during that time, she was still divorced to this guy. So they played a number on on us. They played a number on us. So it's so sad that this is a situation that the Hollywood elites or Hollywood elites have lied to us. Yeah. Okay, guys. I know. Okay, I welcome you guys. I don't know if I was gonna find that, but I don't think I can find it. But we just gonna hold on to what the scripture teaches. Okay, to honor our marriage, not to buy into these fake marriages that Hollywood is promoting. After all, it's not a marriage, and we know we have the Duchess, right? You have Prince Harry and uh, the Princess Markle thing. It's just like, what is this? I know it's so I cannot understand. I cannot understand. But yeah, this is what we get. But guys, I do appreciate you that you came through. Today was actually a quiet one, like just like okay, we're gonna do a quick Wednesday one over here. So it was nice to have you guys on. I know so many people are going to talk about this, so it's going to be because I think the book, the interview dropped today. It dropped today, so she's doing on a book tour. It's going to be all over the place, so there'll be more about this, more about this. Okay, guys, stay tuned. Okay, we're gonna do another live on Friday. Okay, we're gonna do another live on Friday. We're gonna bring in these stories, the war stories. The mess that's going on in Israel and the support that they're experiencing. The the BLM, it's drama all over the place. But yeah, all right, guys, it's a week, so we'll let you guys go. I hope I'll see you guys on Friday. On Friday, on Friday, on Friday, on Friday, on Friday. All right. Okay. So I think I shared all the scriptures that I wanted to share. I shared all the scriptures that I wanted to share. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate your viewership. Eric, good to see you. Hi, Sevan. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, yeah, thank you, Magmo, Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Success. The Duchess of Success. Okay, guys, that is all that I had for you guys today. I hope you guys find this to be informative to you. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Don't forget to like this video, okay? Don't forget to like this video before you leave. Before you leave. All right, guys. I know I'm good at saying goodbyes now. Before it was so hard for me to say bye because I'm like, okay, I'm still here. Okay, I keep saying I'm leaving, I'm leaving. I'm not leaving, I'm still here. All right, guys, be sure to like this video. I'm going to see you guys on Friday. Stay tuned. More coming this week. Until next time, remember to be in the know. Good night.